Shalom. Russia says the West risks the wrath of God if it punishes Moscow over war. How does Russia, or really Vladimir Putin, knows this? How could he know this? Is it possibly, I believe that he, through the scriptures, through the spirit, that he listens to the prophets. He listens to the Hebrew Israelites. He's heard the Hebrew Israelites. He's heard the prophets. He looks into the scriptures. But I believe it really is coming down to what the scriptures say, which is how I can say Vladimir Putin listens to the prophets. But before I get going into this call, Halam La Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Wahara Kakodash, and double honors to the hopefully like elder apostles slated to be saved. Lord willing, start with the elder men at the GMS church on down. Shalom to the rest that may be been out here under the same doctrine and are out here under the same doctrine. Honor to the men here at this faction of this hopefully elect assembly in the order doing what they need to do. All right, and all choose faith and sincerity to the, as well as to the rest of the Akim doing likewise, and to the rest of the believers. So, how does Vladimir Putin know that? Vladimir Putin know this. How does Russia know this? How do they know about the wrath of God coming to the West, being America, if they pretty much make a critical move in the scriptures, as if they know the scriptures and know certain things according, and know life is going according to the scriptures, and as if anything that's done or movement that's tried to be made outside of the storyline, if you will, of the scriptures will be like a clerical error. You know, America shoots missiles and you know, builds missiles to destroy Russia, you know, with high chances of succeeding, if not succeeding. No, that'll be a clerical error if you was to see something in the Bible. And that's pretty much how it sounds like they speaking about the West, as if they know, like, no, it's only gonna happen to this, happen according to this, you know, the scriptures, you know, simply it's only gonna happen this way. Now, how would he be privy to such information? It pushes me to believe that he listens to the prophets. So what I'm gonna do now is, this is Proverbs 25:2. It is the glory of God the Father, Yahweh Bashmiel Shai, to conceal a thing, but the honor, well, I should say, it is the glory of God Yahweh the Father to conceal a thing, but the honor of kings is to search out a matter, and that king goes into ruler. And Vladimir Putin, he's the ruler over there. You know, president translates to, you know, the modern version. It's a modern day version of saying king. And the NLT, it reads, it is God's, Yahweh the Father's privilege to conceal things, and the king's privilege to discover them. So Vladimir Putin, he clearly would have to act upon this privilege he gets as king, which is having the ability and the resources to find out any and everything regarding his the state in which he runs. You know, so the affairs of Russia could you know, give them the best opportunity, and you know, to where the affairs of Russia, you know, can fare well. All right. This is so how would he go about getting those things that are pretty much secret, you know, concealed? Matter of fact, let's go back to that and get that word concealed. You get the word concealed, you got the word shatar. A shatar, it says to hide, be concealed. And what do you have in a Strong's definition? Secret. Amos 3:7. Surely the Lord God, Yahweh, does nothing, will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets. Let me read that again. Surely the Lord, Yahweh God, power, Bashmi al-Shah, power, will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets. So in order, Vladimir Putin would have to went to the prophets, because it's the privilege for him to find out, you know, those things that could keep his estate going, and to give himself the best shot and fare the best. You know, he would have to go seek out, you know, the ways of doing that. You know, things that maybe information not privy to most that consist of that. You know, that consists of how he fares, you know, his future, his destiny, you know, needed counsel to accomplish certain things. Let's say those things were kept, let's say those things weren't the things which we know aren't just sitting on his desk. He would have to go seek out those things, which men had to do, kings had to do in the past time, right? Those things would basically be like secrets, but he has the privilege in the position he's in, and it only makes sense for him to do, because they tell you in Sirach, the 10th chapter, that by the prudence, right, by the prudence of them. Let me grab that real quick. Sirach 10:3, an unwise king destroyed his people, but through the prudence of them. What does prudence mean? Pretty much being concerned with your future, making moves that show you have concern for your future, you know. So you're looking to your affairs, your day-to-day affairs, right? You watch when you step, the moves you make. All right, they say, make your next move your best move, which will be done by somebody that clearly is being prudent, you know, or has prudence, meaning they care for their future. It says, which are in authority. So an unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. So the welfare of Russia relies on Vladimir Putin's prudence, which will be him being concerned with what? The future. And those things will be really the prophecies, things that's going to happen in the future, which are what? Secrets, you know, that are revealed, but they only reveal to who? The prophets. And if the future tells you everyone's future state, which really, if you can actually track according to the scriptures and see the reasoning or the way how they will have gotten to that point that is written for them to end in. You know, a condition that they're written and predestinated to end up in. All right, so with the Lord being rational, it's going to be very easily to see if it's written for me to end up here. I could see clearly. I should be able to clearly see how that is, you know, the reason, the justification, or how. Like the scripture say, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. So it's very easy for a so-called white person to see how they going into captivity. All they got to do is look at their past. He that killeth the sword must be killed with the sword. So it's easy for a so-called white person or whoever that's killing with the sword to see how they're going to be killed with the sword, because they may be they may have not only in their past killed someone with the sword, but in their present time may be killing somebody with the sword. So they could be, oh, that makes sense. But to stay on track, so if Vladimir Putin want to see where Russia's going to end up, where he's going to end up, he would have to what? He would have to have prudence. He would have to care about those prophecies, and those prophecies would tell him what's going to happen, right? And where it may be written for them, where they could possibly end up at, will be due to how they're moving. Even their enemies, you know? So it will behoove him to pay a person that's in authority, with the welfare of the estate of the city. 2, be checking on these things. 2, have prudence. 2, what? Look out for the prophecies, the secrets. But who would they have to go through? This is Amos 3:7. Surely the Lord God will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets. Right. And you look that word secret up. So you get that word secret. That word there is counsel, which when you go into counsel goes into what? You got the synonyms here that says warning. Warning means a statement or event that indicates a possible impending danger, meaning one that's on the way. That's prophecy, problem, or other unpleasant situation. Who the only one that will know that and be able to tell you about something that's an impending danger as if it's on the way? The Most High. And that will be what? The prophecies. So Vladimir Putin wouldn't have time in the state he's in to sit down and become a prophet himself. He would have to inquire of things of such matters through the resources he has if he's going to be a wise king. And that could simply just be what? YouTube, man. Or guys around him that watch the YouTube. You know, they may show him niggas, so-called niggas, which would be these prophets scattered abroad, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians, telling them what's they're gonna do and who they are in the Bible and what's gonna happen, you know, to their foes, America. And not only to their foes, but to them as well. But that's a whole nother thing. All right. So since I say that, this is Sirach 3:19. I'm gonna ask you start at 18. The greater thou art, the more humble thyself. Yeah, that's what a real good or somebody in power that's wise, that has prudence would do. You know, you watch the movie Carlito's Way. Carlito, he wasn't as humble as he could be, and that's why he ended up getting blindsided by a guy he called a little guy named Benny Blanco, who took him out. You know, you don't think Vladimir Putin and these guys watch movies and all these different type of things and use? Come on, man, come on. It says many are in high place, right? I'm actually start at 18 again. The greater thou art, the more thou humble thyself, and thou shalt find favor before the Lord. Many are in high place and of renown, but mysteries, meaning what? Secrets, are revealed unto the meek, right? And that's dealing with what? Once again, those secrets going into counsel, which goes into prophecy, man. You know, it says, for the power of the Lord is great, and he is honored of the lowly. So there it is, man. Anybody in their right mind gonna know the Lord, he exists, and he's controlling everything, and he's already predestinated men's fate. And people that know that fate will those things will be who? The lowly or the meek. Many are in high place and of renown, which will be guys that's running the earth like Vladimir Putin, but mysteries are revealed unto the meek. And who are the meek? Psalms 149 and verse 4. For the Lord taketh pleasure in his people, he will beautify the meek with salvation. And the meek is his people. So his people are the meek. His people are the meek, because he said he's going to beautify the meek with salvation. So the people are the meek. His people are the meek, and the meek are the ones that's going to get salvation, which in both regards is only talking about the Israelites. His people are the Israelites. And the only people that's getting salvation, according to this, which will be the meek, will be the Israelites, because the Israelites only ones written to get salvation. See that? But that's who the secrets are revealed to. And just to prove those points real quick, this is Psalm 69 and 35. For God will save Zion and will build, which is another name for Israel, and will build the cities of Judah, that they may dwell there and have it in possession. So there it is. So the salvation goes into what? Saving, right? That save goes into salvation, which the Lord said he's only going to save Israel For God will save Jerusalem, see, and rebuild the towns of Judah, his people. There it is, and it's telling you who his people is in the same breath. This is in the NLT. His people will live there and settle in their own land. One more. Isaiah 46:13. I bring near my righteousness, it shall not be far off, and my salvation shall not tarry. And I will place salvation in Zion for Israel, my glory. So the Lord is only the salvation is only to who? It's only to the Israelites. But the Lord said he's gonna, let me jump back to it. This is Psalms 149:4. For the Lord taketh pleasure in his people, which are the Israelites, as we read. It says he will beautify the meek with salvation. So that his people are the meek, the Israelites. So the meek are the only ones the secrets are revealed to, in which the king has purpose to search out, and he should, if he has prudence, you know, because he wants his city to stay established. If the city's destroyed, which would be due to him not having prudence, he's no longer a king anymore. So these dudes gonna do everything they can to you know, look to the welfare of a nation, especially when you run in a country, you know. Come on, man. It's bigger than just a little gang or a clique. You know, are you a manager at a dang store? He runs the whole country. So how much more then? You know what I'm saying? People you gonna get on deck. Like it should be way clear that these people listening to us. So as said, the mysteries are revealed unto the meek, which the scriptures just told us the meek are the Israelites. So in order for him to search out those mysteries or those secrets, he would have to go to who? The prophets. He would have to go to the Israelites, the lowly, the ones you never expect. And we know how the thing that has been is that what shall be. This was what took place in the past with all the kings in their kingdoms. In particular, Belshazzar, you know, the son of Nebuchadnezzar. All right. Concerning his kingdom. All right. And he had to show prudence because he you know, he's ruling the city. He's ruling a country, you know, or a city, I should say, a certain area, vicinity of space. This is Daniel 5 and 5. It says Daniel 5 and 10. Now the queen, by the reason of the words of the king and his lords, came into the banquet house, and the queen spake and said, O king, live forever. Let not thy thoughts trouble thee, nor let thy countenance be changed. There is a man in thy kingdom, and who is the spirit of the holy gods. And in the days of thy father, light and understanding and wisdom, like the wisdom of the gods, was found in him. Yeah. And what lets you know, man? What lets you know what pretty much lets you know you're a God, or lets someone knows you're of God? Let's get it. Isaiah 41:23. Shew the things that are to come hereafter, that we may know that ye are gods. Yeah. Do good or do evil, that we may be dismayed and behold it together. So that would be people that can do that, could tell you what's going to happen hereafter. You know, is in specifics tell a king that's what's going to happen hereafter is a God. You know, them the only ones that'll be able to do that. So going back to Daniel 5 and 11, there is a man in thy kingdom, in whom is the spirit of the holy gods, and in the days of thy father light and understanding and wisdom, like the wisdom of the gods, was found in him. Which is what? Knowing what's going to happen hereafter, which is secrets, which is a secret thing to everybody. But a king has the privilege to search these matters out, which he is to do if the city that he runs is going to stay inhabited, which will be him what? Having prudence. Prudence, once again, goes into acting or showing care for your future. Whom the king Nebuchadnezzar, thy father, the king, I say, thy father made master of the magicians, astrologers, Chaldeans, and soothsayers. For as much as an excellent spirit and knowledge and understanding, interpreting dreams, and shewing of hard sentences, and dissolving doubts, were found in the same Daniel, whom the king named Belteshazzar, now let be called, now who the king named Belteshazzar. Now let Daniel be called, and he will shew the interpretation. What was Daniel an Israelite? This is 13. Then was Daniel brought in before the king, and the king spake and said unto Daniel, art thou, this would be likened unto them pulling up our videos on YouTube, right? And some of us gonna actually get brought before these kings and rulers. It's prophesied. Word of meek. You would have never expected they'd be listening to us and be subjected to listening to us and be forced to listen to us at the end. Because the Lord said he's going to cause all the kings to reverence him in 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter. Why? Because the thing that has been is that what shall be. And how is he going to reverence, how is they going to start off reverencing him? Through his servants, the prophets. All right. It says, then was Daniel brought in before the king, and the king spake and said, Daniel, art thou that Daniel, which are of the children of the captivity of Judah, whom the king my father brought out of Jewry? I have even heard of thee, that the spirit of the gods is in thee. What makes you a god again? When you can shew what's going to come hereafter, right? To all, even to a nation, even to a place. That's how the prophets get down. You know? It says, I have even heard that the spirit of the gods is in thee, and the light and the understanding and excellence, wisdom is found in thee. And now the wise men, the astrologers, have been brought in before me, that they should read this writing and make known unto me the interpretation thereof, but they could not shew the interpretation of the thing, right? So everybody got a Bible. You got one of the presidents of the United States named Theodore Roosevelt, who said the education of the Bible is more knowledge or understanding of the Bible is worth more than a college education. Something along those lines, roughly paraphrasing, which I spoke on these things before. And I've brought this message out before. These people listen to us. It says, and I'm not the only one. You know, the elder apostles, all the elder brothers, you know, pretty much done, you know, it spoke to this because it's in the scriptures. It says, and I have heard of thee that thou can make interpretations and dissolve doubts. Now, if thou canst read the writing and make known to me the interpretation thereof, thou shalt be clothed with scarlet and have a chain of gold about thy neck, and thou shalt be called Salaki, and shalt be the third ruler in the kingdom. Then Daniel answered and said before the king, let thy gifts be to thyself and thy rewards to another. Yet I will read the writing unto the king and make known to him the interpretation thereof. See, O thou king, the most high God gave Nebuchadnezzar thy father a kingdom and majesty and glory and honor. And it goes on to say, so this is what went on in the past, and this is the same thing that's going to go on now, you know, because why? You have men that have the spirits of God in them, meaning they can show you what's going to happen hereafter. All right. So if a ruler is in power, it will behoove them to search out things that concern their future and the future of their enemies. You know, if they want to go to war or what's going to happen, it behooves them to look in the Bible, and they can't understand the Bible. So who's pushing the Bible and breaking down the Bible more than the Israelites, the Hebrew Israelites? No one, because it was only given to us. So this is Jeremiah 28 and verse 8. It says, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence. There it is. So this is why they will come seek to us, because we're going to show what's to come hereafter, even if it's regarding a whole country, a whole estate, you know, a whole ruling dynasty. And we're going to tell you, thus saith the Lord, and it's going to be true. You know, it's gonna be you regarding your enemies, what's gonna happen to them, all of that, man. You know. So the thing that has been is that what shall be. Revelation 10 and 11. And he said unto me, thou must prophesy again before many peoples and nations and tongues and kings. See that? This is in the NLT. Then I was told you must prophesy again, meaning he was gonna come back. See that? Through reincarnation about many people, nations. So that's Russia, America, languages, and kings. See? That's only given to the Hebrew Israelites. And the Lord already said, unto him every knee gonna bow, and all the kings is gonna come to him, man. It's already written. It's already written. All the kings is gonna reverence him. He gonna put a spirit on them to listen to him. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. He turned it with, like the rivers of water. He turned it whithersoever he will it. Proverbs the 21st chapter. He's gonna call all the kings of the earth to reverence him. All the kings of the east. The second Ezra the 15th chapter tell you that. And how they start reverencing the Lord by giving heed to what the Bible say concerning them, which the Lord's gonna put a spirit on them to realize the ones that's correctly relaying the message of the Bible out will be these Hebrew Israelites. These so-called niggas, which Vladimir Putin and them know, because all the Russian icons over there. And we got pictures of him completely acknowledging the Russian icons. See that? Who is that? Color these people. See? Look at the guy showing them. They know. So you don't think he know who we are? Who the prophets are? He's not in America. He's not in Babylon, the place of confusion. The city built upon lies. The spiritual Nineveh. He's not there. He's an Edomite nonetheless. But they already say that, you know, these Edomites, they wiser than Daniel, man. So they'll know who Daniel is, you know, while Daniel don't even know how he is, because he just got back to the earth. And he was in the captivity. Daniel would be a so-called black man today. He of the tribe of Judah, so-called Negro. You know? He acknowledges, man. He knows. He knows who we are. All so-called black people behind him. He know who we are. And if this wasn't clear enough for you, check that out. That's the Messiah back there. Black man. So-called black man. He knows. Come on, man. You know, the angels, so-called black people. All that. And he know these guys talking to him, ain't it? He know more than you think you know. He know. Proverbs 25:2. It is the glory of God, the Father Yahweh, to conceal a thing, but the honor of kings is to search out a matter. In the NLT, it is God's privilege, Yahweh, to conceal things, and the king's privilege to discover them. All right. So how else would he know this, man? He would have to be listening to us at some point in some way. Even if it was sarcastically, Russia says the West risks the wrath of God if it punishes Moscow over war. And this is red. This is just came out July 7, 2022. You know, it says Ukraine President Vladimir Zelensky said the Western artillery given to Ukraine is finally starting to have an impact on Russia's slowly advancing forces. Meanwhile, a top Russian official has warned the U.S. against punishing Russia's actions in Ukraine, saying it risks incurring the wrath of God if it does. So, Matthew 10:18, and ye shall be brought before governors and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them and the Gentiles. But when they deliver you up, take no thought how or what ye shall speak, for it shall be given you in that same hour what ye shall speak. For it is not ye that speak, but the Spirit of your Father which speaketh in you. So that's that, man. So the Lord said, have they not all heard? Verily, for their sound went into all the earth through what? The internet, the World Wide Web. All right. So I believe, and it's in the scriptures, that Russian President Vladimir Putin, you know, not only that top Russian official is listening to us, the prophets, reading the scriptures, you know, listening to us Hebrew Israelites. Shalom.